Hello, I am the libertarian Muslim. I ask the difficult questions so you don't have to. This video was a long time coming, and you can see my room is messy. Yes, clean your room. I'm gonna clean my room. I'm just gonna quickly make this video and clean my room. Okay. This stance, I've noticed it doesn't piss everybody off, but it's not really something I've noticed the mainstream left or the mainstream right in Canada or USA supporting. And the hilarious thing is, I actually was in a conversation, a group chat, with a hardcore Canadian conservative and a hardcore Canadian liberal. And when it came to abortion, they were strongly disagreeing with each other. I had a good compromise that both sides disagreed with, but I felt like if it came to a vote between me and a conservative or me and a liberal, they would vote for me. I feel like my thing would bring in the moderate vote. Now, the issue is, when it comes to abortion, people tend to have a view like, oh, are you pro-choice, pro-life? They oversimplify it. Pro-choice what? Who pays for it? Should it be illegal? Illegal? Do I have to pay for it? Do I make the husband pay for it? Or what if I don't want to get an abortion? Do I force the husband to pay for my baby? Like, there's so many questions people don't answer. They just simplify it as just pro-choice, pro-life. And that's my issue. That's why for me, basically I could say I'm pro-choice, but I guarantee you 99% of feminists will not like my position. Like, I've talked to liberals who like my position, but feminists, none of them have liked my position. So what is my position? Number one is, culturally, I don't think we should be proud of abortions. Okay? I don't think we should go like, oh yeah, shout your abortions. No. However, I don't think the government should make it illegal. So I believe abortion basically should be the woman's right to choose if she wants to kill the fetus. But I also don't think she should be proud of it. Now, I'm not advocating for government coercion, saying the government should say you should be ashamed, or even people should shame her. No. But I don't think she should be proud either. This is a delicate balance. It's not really a legal argument. I'm just saying it's just a moral case. Now, in terms of legal, who pays for it? Well, first of all, you have to understand, whenever someone says the government pays for it, that pretty much just means the taxpayers pay for it. Okay? And one of my issues with that is, why should the taxpayers pay for your pregnancy? You know, first of all, when you say the government should pay for it, yeah, you pretty much say we should pay for it. The government doesn't get money from some magical place. So, in Canada, the issue is up to 9 months. I am not making this up. Up to 9 months, not only abortion is legalized, it's free. A majority of Canadians are actually pro-life. Now, some people say, "Oh, you're wrong. That's not true." No. Majority of Canadians are actually pro-life after like 5 months or something. But the issue is, majority of Canadians do not agree that, oh yeah, at 8 months pregnancy, sure, I'll pay for your abortion. Yeah, please spend my taxpayer money for your abortion. Go ahead. So this is one thing that a lot of people don't even realize, is that this is not an issue of, whether you think abortion should be legal or illegal. The money is very important. Who's paying for this shit? It's not just in terms of making it illegal or legal, because first of all, when it comes to legalization, I am actually completely in favor of legalizing abortion even up to 9 months. My issue is, it should not be paid for by the taxpayers after the first 3 months, which is the end of the first trimester. Because by the end of the first trimester, the heartbeat is developed and is present, and the nervous system is developed. So not only is this thing alive, whether you're a believer in God or not, this thing is alive, has a heartbeat, but also it has a nervous system. It's going to feel you kill it. So, the first 3 months, I think, is plenty of time enough for the woman to make her choice of if she wants to get an abortion or not. And I don't want to put any financial pressure on her, so I think, yeah, it should be paid for by the taxpayers. Now, another thing, again, it's a cultural thing, not a policy, but you have to understand, if even at the first week of pregnancy, which I don't think there's any technology that can detect first week of pregnancy. If we see a fertilized egg, if we found this fertilized egg that is inside a woman after 1 week, if we find another planet, we would call it a life. So I don't like this whole argument about is this alive or not alive, because I don't think that's even where we should argue. We should focus on what should we do with it. But I hate, see, even though when I say the first trimester should be legalized and it should be paid for by the government, this is something that liberals tend to love me for. But then I tell liberals, but listen, at least you gotta understand that not just from a religious perspective, but conservatives are also coming in from a scientific perspective. That is a life. I'm not saying you should be charged with murder. And also, there is absolutely zero first world country that charges women with murder for abortion. Okay, so you gotta get this. And speaking of murder, what about the whole idea of double homicide? Did you know when a pregnant woman gets killed in USA, it's considered a double homicide? Again, that's another thing that not a lot of people who talk about abortion even think about. They just say, yeah, I'll pro-choice, I'll pro-life. But think about that. When do we say it is a life, and why do we call it double homicide? What do we do about that? Personally, I would say we shouldn't call it a double homicide unless it's after the first trimester. Because like I said before, by the end of the first trimester, after the first 2 months, heartbeat present, nervous system develop, it's pretty much a life whether you're religious or not religious. Come on. Now the second trimester. The second trimester, I actually have a link in the description so you could see what gets developed in the second trimester. But to me, that's actually not important. Because to me, at this point, it is a life, and you had 3 months to decide if you want to abort this baby or not. Okay? I agree with you, your body, your choice, but come on, after 3 months, that thing is kind of another body now. It is your body, but there's also another body inside your body. Come on. Now, for the second trimester, I believe this should not be paid for by the government. Absolutely. This is unfair, because now you had 3 months to decide. You're forcing the taxpayers to pay for your responsibility. That's not even fair. And this is something that whether you're Jewish, Christian, even some sects of Islam, and I think some sects of Hinduism, they don't believe in that. So you're forcing everybody to pay for your abortion. That's so not fair. So second trimester, I believe this is the time where, again, I think it should be the woman's choice. And this is something you should consult with the husband and the doctor. Now, obviously, one of the basic things is that I forgot to mention, but obviously, if it threatens the woman's life, no matter what stage of pregnancy, I think she should be allowed to have an abortion. I haven't met a hardcore conservative who disagrees with that. Come on, if it threatens a woman's life, I would love to see a religious conservative in any part of the Western world who says, you know what, even if it threatens her life, I want an abortion. No one is on that position. And even in terms of rape, the rape one, it gets more complicated. But again, for me, it's the first trimester, no matter the circumstance, whether it's rape or incest, whatever, you should be allowed to get an abortion. First trimester. Second trimester, again, you should be allowed, but we don't pay for it. Taxpayers don't pay for it. And I believe the women should have the power to, which is what current laws are at, where if a man gets you pregnant and you are the biological father of the baby, in every first world country, women do have the power to force the husband to pay for child support. And I think that's a fair law. But for the second trimester. Now, third trimester. At this point, you've been pregnant for 6 months. You're visibly pregnant, and that baby is pretty developed. In fact, after a second trimester, that baby could already be born. So many premature babies are born at that stage. Some premature babies are born before that. At this point, this is something that no one ever talks about the father. I think, again, it should be the woman's choice to abort. Wait, don't dislike this video. Conservatives, please wait. But at the third trimester, if the father does not want to be the father, we have to respect that choice. Dave Chappelle made a funny joke about this, that your body, your choice. Sure, my wallet, my choice. And I agree with that. But a third trimester, though, at this point, if you want an abortion, I think it should be 100% out of your own pocket, or You can take out a bank loan. I'm actually totally pro forcing banks to give you loans in times of emergencies when it comes to healthcare. So, must give you loan if you need the money, but 100% of your own pocket. Because if the father does not want to be the father, then this is you've had 6 months to decide, and now the guy, like, at least at this point he should have a right to opt out, right? Because you know how unfair it would sound if you're like, okay, you decide, and you get to force him to be the father, and you force taxpayers to pay for it. This is why people hate feminism. Okay, feminists, you have to understand this. You're asking for so much more. If you truly care about equality, this is a better way. In fact, this way is still advantageous to women, and this is coming from a guy who hates feminism, and I'm still, my position is more pro-women by 6 months. Now, some people may say, what if the father says he wants the baby, but the woman wants to abort it? Unfortunately, in that case, I think the woman should abort the baby if she wants to. But she cannot force the man to pay for the abortion, and if she changes her mind at any point, she cannot force him to pay child support. Again, this is only for the third trimester. If during the first 2 trimesters she decides to keep the baby, I think, yeah, it's fair to force the father to pay for the child support of the baby. Now, third trimester, again, all of it, all 3 stages should be legal. The only difference is by the third trimester, it should be 100% out of the woman's pocket. Because by that point, you've had 6 to 9 months to decide if you want to keep the baby or not. And by that point, you really can't force the taxpayers or the father to pay for this abortion. Anyway, thank you for watching. Let me know comments below if you have any questions on my position on abortion. I reply to all the comments. And yeah, tell me if you would agree with me. And I'm going to start a series soon on me possibly running for the Prime Minister of Canada. Possibly, don't know promises, in 2035. And I want people to see me early on and see, would you vote for this guy? Anyway, let me know if you have any question based on my position on abortion, or any question based on this video, or if you have any questions or even any comments on what your position on abortion would be. And let me know what country you're in and what was the last party you voted for, and would you vote for me if this was my position on abortion. Which, by the way, this is my position on abortion, unless more information comes to the future. I'm open to new ideas. Thank you for watching, and remember, my name is AliAlex, and I will be the doctor that's going to cure the cancer known as feminism.